Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great. We're getting so close to spring. Hopefully it's starting to warm up where you live. So in today's video, we're going to be working in my backyard and we're going to cut back the bleeding heart vines along the back of my house. I'm so excited because this is my last spring cleanup project for the 2025 season. So let's get into it. So moving into my backyard, here's our work area for today. You can see this area is a jumbled mess of overgrown vines. The bamboo trellises they've been growing on have totally failed, and all these vines have flopped over, completely covering my paver walkway. You can barely see the walkway under all this mess. So I'll be honest, I missed my opportunity last year to cut these vines back, which is one of the main reasons why they're so out of control. For reference, here's what they looked like back in May of 2023 after giving them a hard prune earlier that spring. They grew back quickly and I trained them to grow up some DIY bamboo trellises. They were so beautiful and added a ton of vertical interest in this space. So when it comes to pruning bleeding heart vines, you want to cut them back in late winter after the risk of frost has passed or in early spring just before the new growth begins. This allows the plants time to recover while temperatures are still cool and it encourages lots of new growth. So here we are, it's the first week of March. As many of you know, I live in Central Florida, and right now is the perfect time for me to get this pruning job done. So taking a closer look at these vines, you can see they're really spindly and they're missing a lot of leaves down toward their bases. You can also see that they're holding on to a lot of their older flowers. They get these beautiful clusters of reddish magenta blooms. So looking at the tools I'm going to use for this project, I've got my hand pruners and my loppers. I think the majority of the cuts will be made with my hand pruners, but I grabbed my loppers in the event there's thicker stems that my hand pruners won't be able to handle. I also grabbed my 70% isopropyl alcohol so I can sanitize my cutting tools. It's important to use clean tools when pruning plants, and you should definitely make a habit of sanitizing your tools between plants to prevent the spread of disease. So I'm going to start this pruning project by removing all the overgrown top growth, cutting these plants back to a more manageable size. This will help improve air circulation and light penetration around these vines, which will help them perform better and reduce the risk of fungal disease. So now that all the overgrown top growth has been removed, I'm going to cut back the individual plants to about 12 inches above the ground. I'm also going to remove any dead, damaged, or diseased stems. The dead stems are pretty easy to spot. They're usually dry and brittle. They don't have any signs of green tissue and typically snap easily when they're bent. And then damaged stems have physical injuries like cracks, splits, and broken sections. They might also show signs of stress like wilting. Lastly, diseased stems can show various symptoms like discoloration, spots or lesions, mold or mildew, or unusual growths on the stems like galls or cankers. So let's get in there now and cut out anything that's dead, damaged, or diseased. So there we go, the bleeding heart vines are all pruned and ready for another growing season. I know this looks like a really aggressive cutback, but these vines are so resilient and they're going to bounce back really fast as we get into the warmer spring months. And then really quick, I wanted to give you a close-up of where I made all my cuts. I pruned all the vines just above a leaf node since those nodes are where the new growth will emerge this spring. Looking over here on my lawn area, you can see just how much plant material I removed. Like I said earlier, I didn't prune my vines last year, so this represents about 2 years of growth. I'm really excited I was able to get out here today and cut back my bleeding heart vines, but I think I'm actually even more excited that my walkway has been uncovered and I can finally walk along this pathway again. So as far as trellising, these vines definitely appreciate some support. You can see how beautiful these ones look over here growing up my chain link fence. With the right light and air circulation, they'll maintain beautiful green leaves throughout the year. If we come in a little closer, you can also see some of the beautiful blooms on these vines too. I definitely need to figure out a way to support the vines I just cut back. Like I mentioned previously, in the past I used bamboo stakes to make trellises for each individual plant, and I really liked the look once the vines grew in. I've also been thinking about sinking some wooden support posts on either side of this garden bed and then using eye hooks to string wire cables across the entire length of my house for a more permanent support structure. I could then weave the vines through the wires to create a sort of living wall that tops out just below the windows, and once it's all grown in, it'll have a similar look to the vines on my chain link fence. Let me know down in the comments which support structure you like better between the bamboo trellises or the more permanent wire trellis. Obviously, one is more cost effective, but the other will last a lot longer. And if you have any additional ideas, let me know in the comments too. I'm open to any and all suggestions. In any case, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you haven't already done so, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can hang out with me in future videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.